කිම්බුන් එනවා නැද්ද?
ඒක අදින් දික්. කොළොකක්ම තියෙනවද?
නෑ ඔව් එකකුනේ. හොට්ටු ටිකක් තියෙනවා කිම්බුන්.
එහෙනම් ඉන්නේ එහෙනම් මට වගේ.
So somebody said.
මට අද උංගා පුණා වගේ.
Hey.
ඔව්.
So anyway, somebody sent a question which goes along with these lines. What there are these two terms, samma sankappa and yoniso manasikara, usually translated as right thought or right intention. That's the first one, and yoniso manasikara is the wise attention or thorough attention. So if Lokam can talk about this, if like there is a difference and so on. What the difference is.
හොඳයි නේ. මම ඔක දුත්‍රයක් මතක් කරන් දැන් ඔළුවට එන්නේ ඔළුව මැරිලා.
So those days I used to be able to recall the suttas immediately, but now it's not happening that way. It's like the head is now dead. So you might, I might find it and give you the references tomorrow.
යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරය සම්මා සංකප්පයයි මේ බැඳිලා තියෙන දෙකක් එකට.
So these two terms, that is the wise attention and right thought, they are kind of bound in a way or connected.
යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරය කියන්නේ තනි කරම කුසල.
Lokam says the yoniso manasikara, the wise, so-called wise attention, is a kind of pure kind of wholesomeness.
අපි මනසිකාරයෙන් කරන්නේ අර මොනෝට පරිවර්තනය කරන එකනේ.
So what we do with the paying attention is seeing or knowing how the mind is changing from object to object or going to apprehend an object. This is something that happens extremely fast.
නිකම් මනසිකාරයේ තියෙනවානේ. ඒක කුසල අකුසල දෙකේම යෙදෙනවා.
So there is normal kind of attention, just like common attention. That one can combine with both the wholesome and the unwholesome. It does not have its intrinsic characteristic.
පස්ස වේදනා සංඥා චේතනා ජීවිතේන්ද්‍රිය මානසිකාද ඒකාග්‍රතාව.
So there are these 7 common mind concomitants that are available in all minds. One of them is manasikara or attention.
ඔයගේ මනසිකාරයේ තියෙනවා.
So Lokam mentioned all 7 of them. So most of you know, I don't. So I don't give the list. But those 7, including that basic attention, can go both ways. That is towards wholesome and towards unwholesome.
මනසිකාරයේ ආදෙක්වාදී නික.
මනසිකාරයේ අමරද.
ඔව් අමරද.
So it's there is the one kind of fish called eel. Ugor. Yes, for the Russian and Slavic speaking people. So So now they say the head and tail have characteristic, each of them of different species. So if fish are coming, so the eel is showing them the tail, and then they say, oh, it's okay, another fish here. Then when they come near, they get caught by the eel. So if snakes are coming, the eel is showing them its head, and then the snakes think, oh, it's one of us snakes, and they leave it alone. So it's protected from being swallowed by the snakes, because they see him, they see the eel as a snake. So it uses one of its, like the head is used for self-protection, and the tail is used to catch prey. Lokam says the cunning people are like that also. Yeah, just
බොරු
like,
පෙන්නන.
showing off or kind of like they are not genuine, they are always in kind of pretense.
ඒ මානසිකාරය තියෙන මේ විදිහේ කුසල අකුසල දෙකේම යෙදෙන ඒ මානසිකාරය මේ තනිකර කුසලයක් බවටම පරිවර්තනය කරන ඒකට කියන යෝනිසෝ මානසිකාරය.
So this basic attention, which can turn really both ways. If you turn it in something completely wholesome, then that is called the Yonasa Manasikara Lokohamu says.
ඔයාලා සබ්බාරයේ තේරුණානේ.
Oh,
ඒකද නෙමෙයි වෙතින්. ඥානතෝ බික්කවේ පස්සතෝ
oh,
ආසවනං කයනාවදවා තේරුණානේ පාන්නේ.
no.
යොන්දමන්දිකාරය. අයොන්දෝ මානසිකාරය
Oh, so this is the beginning of the Sabbasava Sutta, translated in English as All Tains, second sutta of Majjhima Nikaya. So at the very beginning, the Buddha says something like, "O monks, I say that the extinction of tains, asavas, is for somebody that knows and sees." And what does he know and see? What is the wise attention and what is not the like unwise attention?
එතකොට ඒක මොකද්ද කියන්නේ කුසල් ගැන කියන්නේ නේ. ඔව්.
හැබැයි වන්දේ අර දන්නවා ඥානතෝ පස්සතෝ ඒ කොටස වෙන්න අර සම්මා දිට්ඨි පැත්තද.
ඔව්.
So I asked Lokohamudo if this reference to knowing and seeing what is the wise attention and not wise attention, if it is kind of connected with the right view or correcting view, so comes together, that's like that.
එතකොට දැන් ඒක කුසල්නේ.
Because this is the wise attention is wholesomeness.
අපි කියන යෝනිසෝ මානසිකාරය මෙන්න කියලා.
So let's say somebody is noting what not with wise attention.
යෝනිසෝ මානසිකාරය සෑම එකම තියාගන්න නිසා අපි මේ කායානුපස්සනාව උපකාර කරගන්නවා.
So because we don't leave out anything and whatever bodily things we do, so then it's like the way I understand what Lokam says is they are like tandem. So the observation of the body happens within the Satipatthana, and that helps the wise attention, and also the wise attention, because you are noting all the time, is helping the observation of the body.
අපි වේදනාවත් ඒ විදිහට වේදනාවට රන් වෙන්නේ කෑ ගන්නෑ බනින්නේ කියන එක.
Likewise for Vedanas, so translated as feelings, or you can say experiencing, so especially the unpleasant experiences meaning pain, so one does not get kind of tricked by those. One is not scored like that is not a good word for it. Swearing, let's say,
ඔව්.
swearing or like complaining. Yeah, complaining is good.
ඔව් දැන් මට මේ
Give the wise attention.
වේදනානුපස්සනාවක් තියෙනවා. කායානුපස්සනාවක් තියෙනවා.
So then Lokamra has like a upama.
උපමාව.
So it's kind of illustration of this. So let's say Lokohamdu has both, that is the observation of the body as well as observation of Vedanas.
ඔව්. දැන් බෙල්ල කැක්කුමයි වේදනාව.
So now his neck is painful, which is a kind of pain, is a kind of Vedana.
ඒ කයනේ මේක බෙල්ලනේ. ඒ කායානුපස්සනාවයි තමයි වේදනානුපස්සනාව මතු කොල්ල දීලා තියෙන්නේ.
But the pain is arising because of the neck. So because of observing the body, also it's like the observation of feelings, Vedananupassana kind of matured enough, or like became also active because of this observing of the body.
ඔය මේකෙන් මට මේ එක සිතිවිලි අට ගන්න.
Then with those also all kind of like thoughts are arising in Yokohama.
රාගම් විතරාගම්. ඒක අර මේ කුසලයක් වෙන්නේ නැතුව ඒක දැනගෙන ඉන්න එක හොඳයි මම.
So if you get, you can get like attached or lustful thoughts or angry thoughts or free from the lust and anger. So Lokam says if the kind of, let's say, lustful thoughts arise, if nothing else than that happens, that is good. So that can happen if the Yoniso Manasikara is working, so it will just stop it from developing anything more. So it's like if it's angry mind state arise and you like start getting angry, that means at that point there was no wise attention and it is actually unwise attention at that point. So in other words, what the Yoniso Manasikara wise attention is doing, keeping your thoughts free from holding on to or attaching and free from conflicting or having friction. So now this mind states we can get you can get mind states connected with anger and mind states free from anger. So in other words, anyway, the Lokam says the Yoniso Manasikara, the wise attention means is in the kind of attention also sati works. So like so the attention and sati has combined together with the bodily things, then the feelings, and now also with the mind or mind state. So we have these defilements called the hindrances. So then the yogi stays mostly keeping away from those hindrances. So now the hindrances still arise, but they are recognized with the wise attention, they are kind of identified. So the first two, both of them, that is the liking for sensual things and ill will. So then whatever it is, body, feelings or mind states, the yogi has idea of letting go of those, like relinquishing. Lokam says that is a sloth and torpor. So then the wholesomeness has been let go of. So then other things like restlessness and worry can arise. So with the wise attention, what is one does not let go of these things. So what is meant here now, because the word relinquish or let go is usually in a good context, but here it means like on purpose you ignore something like that. So or like you stop noting properly or recognizing properly. So that is what was meant by like relinquishing or letting go of those things. So the instruction is anyway to note anything and everything. So, and the good yogi is doing exactly that, without leaving anything out, notes everything.
Oh, then yeah, the only the mandikare,
So then that falls within the yoniso manasikara or wise attention. So
Okay.
attending or noting properly everything.
එතකොට එයා මේ තරහක් බව දන්නවනේ.
So if that yogi gets anger, the yogi recognizes that now anger is there.
ඒ තරහ තියාගන්නේ.
But the anger is
ගන්න
not
දෙන්නේ.
the anger is not retained or kept, or even actually if it's noted even faster than that, it's like the yogi does not allow the anger even arise.
එයාට මේ හිතෙනවා ඒක මේක අත්හැරලා බෑ ඈ අත්හැරලා බෑ කියලා හිතෙනවා.
මෙනෙහි කිරීම.
මෙනෙහි කිරීම.
So the yogi at this level even is getting sort of not letting go of the noting, or like leaving out anything of the noting.
එයා සංසාරයෙන් ගද්දීගයි මේක මෙනෙහි කළොත් තමයි මේක කෙටි කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
Idea is like that. And this is how the mind is actually turning towards the right thought. Lokam says is like this samsara, round of rebirth is like endless, so long. But by the noting, I am cutting down. I am like shortening it. So ideas like that, Lokam says, are turning towards the right thought. So the standard definition of right thought is the thought of non-illegal, non-harming, and relinquishment. So this was described, the yogi is not anyway getting angry. So there are like different levels of understanding and subtlety in this. So people, when they hear, because this non-harming is, especially if you know like Pali, Sanskrit or Sinhala, is very like a synonym for compassion really. So people think, oh, this is compassion. They might think it's about others. And Lokam says, no, here it is as the Eightfold Noble Path member, the second member of the Eightfold Noble Path, I thought that the non-harming is really kind of compassion mainly towards oneself. So then the yogi does not get deceived by the hindrances. Starts understanding the five aggregates. That's about the form or the body, feelings or experiences, perceptions, volitional formations, and consciousness. So this understanding of these things does not take very long time. It's kind of really relatively quite quick. So then, as was said, the yogi starts understanding the five aggregates, and really the yogi understands them quite well. So first two are Rupa and Vedana, that's the Pali names for these aggregates, translated as form or like really bodily form, and feelings or experiencings. So the other three are perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. So let's say the yogi's primary object is in and out breathing. So within the in and out breathing, walking meditation, and paying attention to all the daily activities, the yogi sees how this, like experiential sees and understands how the five aggregates are there. A part of that is because the form is compounded out of these four great elements.
Oh.
So part of the understanding is also at least like one of the elements being kind of obvious.
ඔයකට මහා ධාතු වලින් එකක් බව දන්නවා. මේක රූපස්කන්ධය. ඒකට ඒක
So within the, in connection with the body, Lokam says at least one of the great elements is being experienced and known.
ආයෝ ධාතුව හා
So it might be the so-called wind element or like movement and vibrations element.
ඔයක පඨවි ස්වභාවයටයි තියෙන්නේ. පඨවි
Oh,
ස්වභාවයටයි තියෙන්නේ.
මොකද?
මේ වායු ධාතුව
Hey.
වායු ධාතුව
Oh.
වායු ධාතුවේ පඨවියක් තියෙනවා. මම මේක කියන්න ඕනේ.
So now Lokam is saying now like within the wind element there are parts that are belonging to the earth element.
ඔයක බරගතියේ
Hmm.
වායු ධාතුවේ තද ගතිය ඒක පඨවියයි කියලා තියෙනවා.
So I don't know. So I think let's say
It's
something
common,
like that.
නැතිනම්
So as one observes mainly one of the elements, or so one gets the hardness and heaviness, which is actually part of the other element.
මේ වායු ධාතුවේ උද්මවන මිනිහ බරගතියක් තියෙනවා.
So like in the breath, which is really to do mostly with the wind element, there is an element of weight which is actually like the manifestation of the earth element.
බේකින් වායුව
Hmm.
ඒක පඨවිය තමයි තේරෙන්නේ.
So even though it's wind,
ඔව්.
now this is getting confusing. No, because in Sinhala the word Vayu also means air, so I don't know if he means air or the element. No. So anyways, so there is an like aspect of the earth element within the wind element.
ඔව් එතකොට මේ වායු ධාතුව හොඳටම අපි දන්නවනේ වායු ධාතුවයි කියලා.
So we have the, like let's say the yogin has quite clear knowledge and understanding about the wind element.
මොකද ඒක බරගතිය.
And
ඒක ප්‍රඥය.
so how then the question is how comes there is this weightiness there.
ඔව්. ඉතින් හුස්ම ගන්න පිට ගන්නකොට නාසයේ තෙත ගතිය.
So or there is like that is stiffness.
ඔව්.
Wetness. Okay. So as the in and out breath goes through the nostrils, there is the wetness also experienced there.
ඔය ආස්වාද ප්‍රාසාද කරන්නේ නැත්තම් ඒ තෙත ගතිය නෑ.
So if the in and out breathing is not done, then the wetness is not there.
ඔව් ඒක ඉතින් මේ වායු ධාතුවේ දියර ගතිය. වායු ධාතුව නිසා
Oh.
දියර ගතිය.
So then Lokam says this is how within the air element there is the like water element.
ඔව් ඒකට දැන් ආපෝ තේජෝ වායු එතකොට මේ තේජෝ කියන්නේ හුස්ම ගන්නකොට උගාක් වේදෙනවා රසනේ.
So likewise while observing the breath you get experiences of hotness. Sometimes it can be quite intense heat and sometimes very cold.
ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේවා බලන්න යන්න එපා. ඔය හිතන්න යන්න එපා.
But this is not like instruction for you to start looking for those things. So don't do that, okay?
දැන්
ඔය
ඔය
ඉබ්බැටම
කියන්න ගිහින් තමයි භාවනාව ඔය කතා කරලා භාවනා කෙරෙන්නේ.
ඔව් ඒක හොයා ගන්න ගියොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ?
එතකොට දැන් මේක හොයන්න යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මේක ඉබේ තේරෙන එක.
So it's something as you practice that you start understanding really. So once again don't try to like actively search for these things.
මහා ධාතු මහතරක් විතරයි තියෙන්නේ.
So within the like breathing process all four of the great elements are available there.
ඔව් ඒකට එතන මම එක් නෑ කියලා හිතෙනවා.
So the yogi understands that, the yogi also gets understanding within this process, there is really no me there actually.
එතකොට හුස්ම ගත්තා පිට ගන්නවා.
So once the in-breath has been taken or has happened, then the out-breath is happening.
ඔය ගන්න එක මම කියලාත් හුස්ම ගන්නවා. දැන් මගේ කියලා මම කියලා ගන්න.
So sometimes it might be that the in-breath is with the notion of self and the out-breath is without any notion of self, or the other way around.
එතකොට මම එක් නැතුවත් හුස්ම ගන්නවා. මම එක් ඇතුවත් හුස්ම ගන්නවා.
So then you have that the yogi is experiencing occasions where sometimes the breath is taken in with the notion of self and sometimes it's without the self.
මේක හොඳට යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරයේ තිබුණොත් විතරයි.
But this happens only to the yogis that have a really good level of yoniso manasikara, the wise attention really working properly.
යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරය නැතුව වැඩන්නේ නැහැ.
If you don't have the wise attention really, so then it's like no need to talk about it.
වැඩන්නේ නිකන් ඔය කතා. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් ඒක සම්මා දිට්ඨිය හැදෙලා තින්නේ. එතන මම එක් නෑ.
So within that already the right kind of view has now been produced, that the understanding this is like just process of elements and mind things and there is no real me within that process. So then you can say that is almost like getting to the point of the best level of wise attention. So that is when the seeing, because this is like observation, so as you observe, the seeing that happens within that is connected with the right way.
ඇති වෙන ආස්වාද ප්‍රාස්වාදයෙන් නෙමෙයි නැති වෙන්නේ.
So then also this understanding that the is the in-breath that is finishing is not the in-breath that started, and likewise for the out-breath.
ගත්ත හුස්ම ගැනීමෙන් ඉවරයි.
Or at least this level where the taken breath finished with when the process finished. Once it has like been taken in, that's the end of that.
පිට ගන්න වෙනත් ප්‍රාර්ථනා අර ගත්ත හුස්ම නෙවෙයි.
So then the out breath is a completely new separate thing that is happening.
දෙකක් වගේ.
So like this, then you have like two things, really, two clearly separated out things happening.
ගන්න හුස්මයි පිට ගන්න හුස්මයි දෙකක්.
So there is a clear distinction that the in-breath and out-breath are clearly like two separate things.
දැන් ඔය සෝ සත්තු අස සත්තු පස්ස සත්තු කියනනේ ගන්න හුස්මයි පිට ගන්න හුස්මයි දෙකක්. ඒක අපි හිතන්නේ ගත්ත හුස්ම පිට කරලා කියලා. ඒක දැන් ඔව් එහෙම නෙමෙයි.
So there is in the suttas when they talk, when the Buddha gives description of the observation of breath, the anapanasati. So there is the like really one of the first steps of he with sati or mindfully breathes in and he mindfully breathes out. So people tend to think that the in-breath and out-breath are like the out-breath that is going now out is the in-breath that before came in. So comes actually it's not like that, and the yogi is in that described level before clearly knows that it's not the in-breath that finished just before that is now being like expulsed from the body.
එතකොට පිට කරන්නේ වෙනම හුස්මක් බව තේරෙනවා. වායු දත්වක් කියලා උස්මක් නෙවෙයි.
So actually, it's now lokansis is really not even considered properly as like breath.
ගත්ත උස්ම
It's just like the kind of manifestation of the wind element now, and the yogi clearly knows that with the in-breath there was one manifestation which is like finished, and then now there is completely new another manifestation of the wind element that is like normally called the out breath.
පිට ගන්න එක පිට ගන්න වෙනම එක.
හරි කිව්වා ඔය කිව්වා.
මම කියන්නේ සම්මාදිට්ඨියයි කියලා.
So this is again Lokamsa's part of the like especially seeing and understanding this has to do with the right view.
ඔව් මෙතන ප්‍රේමදිවි කියලා කියන්නේ.
And there is no Pemaseri here.
මෙතන
No somebody called Pemaseri.
ඔව් මෙතන නිකන් නාම මාත්‍රයක් විතර.
There is just this like bunch like interacting bunch of mental things happening.
ඔව් මේක සත්‍ය කියලා තියෙන්නේ මම කියලා ගත්ත නිසා. සත්‍යයක් කියලා තියෙන්නේ අන්න මම කියලා ගත්ත නිසා. ඉතින් මම කියලා ගත්ත නිසා සත්‍යයක් කියලා ගන්නවා.
So because or the understanding along these lines, because of this notion of me happening, this whole situation was understood as if there was actually some real beings or entity within this process. But these things described is not that the yogi is thinking about those things.
මම කියලා කෙනෙකුත් නැහැ. සත්‍යයක් කියලා කෙනෙකුත් නැහැ.
It's just the yogi immediately, like first-hand experiential understands these things, and anyway, the Lokam says it's like this: there is no real me happening, and there is no real being happening there.
අරමුණක් විතරයි.
What is really there is the object.
ඒ අරමුණ මේ කායකවත් ගැටෙන්නෙත් නැහැ ඇලෙන්නෙත්.
And with that object, nobody is holding on to it, and nobody is conflicting with that.
ධම්මා සංකප්පයදී.
So when that is the truth, that means the right thought has arisen. So I think what Lukaman was, if an object is apprehended as just an object, without conflicting and holding on to it, then the apprehension of that object is kind of right thought.
මම කියන මගේ කියන ආරම්භන තියෙන සත්‍යය පුද්ගලයා කියන ඒක නෑ නිකම්ම ඉවරයි.
Because there is truly no me, and as a result also not belonging to me. The object is just their object that is being apprehended without holding on to and conflicting. And this leaving out the me and my belonging to me out of the process is a kind of renunciation.
Oh.
So that which is the three standard definition for the right thought is thoughts of non-hatred, non-ill and renunciation.
ඔයා තත්ත්වයේ පුද්ගලෙ නැති තැන දැකලා තියෙන එකම කරලානේ. අරමුණ කාවම ඒකේ ගැටෙන්නේ තරහ වෙන්නේ.
So because you have done the renunciation really happened because an object where there was no me and no belonging to me happened. So then how can there be any anger or like harmfulness or like holding on to or conflicting with that object?
ඔගොල්ලෝ නෙවෙයි. ඔගොල්ලෝ කියනවා නෙවෙයි. අව්‍යාපාදයෙන්ද මානංග ඉතිරි.
So I don't know. So I think look, I'm saying this. Of course, this is, I am not talking how it is happening within you. I am just telling you how the right thought and non-hatred and non-harming, and the renunciation happens within myself.
හොඳ. එතකොට අර ආරම්මන හැදෙන්නේ නැහැ. සත්‍ය පුද්ගල කරන්නේ හැදෙන්නේ.
So Lokam is saying if objects are not happening, also the me, my belonging to me and a being is not happening.
No, ඉතින් මේ සම්මා සංකප්පය කියන එක තියෙනව නේද? උගාක් යොන්ද මානසිකාරයත් එක්ක එකතුවක් තියෙන එක.
So now what is called the right thought can happen only if there is a lot of kind of admixture or accompaniment by the wise attention.
එතකොට සම්මා දිට්ඨියත් එක්කත් එකතු වෙලා නැත්නම් එකතු
So
වෙන්නේ.
this you have the right view combines together with the wise attention quite a lot, and then you start having the right thoughts.
සම්මා දිට්ඨිය අපි කියන විදිහට මේ අපි කියනෝනේ දුක්ඛේ ඥාන, දුක්ඛ සමුදය ඥාන, දුක්ඛ නිරෝධේ ඥාන, නිරෝධ ගාමිනී ප්‍රතිපදා ඥාන, සම්මා දිට්ඨිය. දැන් මේක ඒකට යාට මේ දුක තේදිලා.
So one of the common definitions of the right view is the knowledge of the dukkha, its arising, cessation, and the way leading to the cessation of dukkha. So now this yogi at this point described level of practice has quite some understanding of dukkha, translated usually as suffering.
So මේ දුක්ඛ අටගන්න ආකාරයේ තේරුම් ගන්න තියෙනවා.
And also there is understanding how the dukkha comes about, how it comes together, how it originates.
ඔව්. ඒකෝට ඒක නැති වෙන ක්‍රමයක් දැනගෙන තියෙනවා.
Also there is a knowledge of the way that leads to the undoing of that.
මේ යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරය තිබුණොත් විතරමයි මේ මාර්ගය හැදෙන්නේ කියලා දන්නවා.
So with that, there is kind of understanding with the wise attention. What one is doing is always pursuing that path that leads to the cessation of suffering.
ඔය ඇත්තට මේ වරම හිතන්න ඕනේ යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරය විතරම හදන්න පුළුවන් නම් හරි.
Actually, the question was about wise attention and right thought. So Lokam is saying, no need to think that far. If you just try to develop wise attention as much as possible, that is more than enough. It's not necessary to know too much or like a lot actually. Because Lokam says if you go to check the books about things, just you might experience a rising of some extra kind of problems.
But then Mama කියනවා ලියා ගන්නවා. ඕක ලියාගෙන තව කෙනෙකුට බැන්නකෝ. ඒ මොනවාක්වත් නේවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට අත ගන්න නැහැ. ඒකට ඒවෙන් භාවනා කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. මේක නම් හොඳම වැඩක් නෙවෙයි.
So Lokam says like, okay, I think something about these things, and I think what Lokam means, it might be knowing and having some understanding even, but I have some thinking or understanding about those things. Then a person next to me starts writing those things down, and another person is taking those and starts to using that for his or her own practice.
දැන් මං කිව්වා මෙනිට පරිවර්තනය කරා මේ පරිවර්තනය කරපුවා ලියනවා.
So I say something according to my understanding, then Vinita takes that spoken words, translates them into English. Then another person takes those English words and writes them down and organizes them into a book. So even when Vinita was translating it into English, already some extra ideas are mixed up with that.
Ajahn Sambo ki pote bala. Ajahn Sambo.
Sambo kana?
සම්බෝ යා නමක් මේ.
සම්බෝධ.
සම්බෝ. අද සම්බෝ ලියලා තියෙනවා.
එහෙනම් මම අහලා තියෙනවා.
ඔව් අහලා තියෙනවා. එයාගේ පොත් හරි රසයි සතිපට්ඨාන. කියවලා ඉතින් භාවනා කරනවා.
So Lokam says there is this somebody called Ajahn Samboy or something like that, and somebody told Lokohamudru that the books written by this person are very like delightful to read.
Yeah,
You know, I say they are tasty and they have this like tastiness quality, and you feel like starting up your own satipatthana practice.
සයාඩෝ ඥාඤ්ඤෝ.
Ne?
සයාඩෝ ඥාඤ්ඤෝ. උරුමෙක්කනේ. ඔව්. ලියලා තියෙනවා.
So there is another one called Sayadom, is like each called Nyanyo.
ඔව්. දැන් ඉතින් මේ පොත් එක මේ පොත් බලමු.
So this
ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්
person,
තියෙනවා.
the person is this like person in the example is now checking this Sayadaw Nyanyo's book and
හැබැයි මේ ඇත්තමයි ඒවා.
some symbols, something. So anyway, so but what these people know and try to talk about is something real, true.
ඔව්. ඒවා කරන්න බෑ.
But one can't like make oneself experience that, something like that.
ඔව්. පේවඥාන පොතකුත්.
So anyway, so that let's say there is a Pemasari book, Pemasari Hamuduru book.
මේවා හරි හොඳයි.
No, this is a very good book.
ඔය පොත් ටික දෙනම් පුච්චල විදි කරන්න එපා.
So
මේගොල්ලෝ ලියන එකේ දැන් සන්දීන් මාත්‍ය දිවාරයන් මේගොල්ලෝ ලියන ඕක විස ගුලියක් වෙනවා කවදා.
So you are like writing down notes and whatnot. So Lokam says he is burn. His inclination is to burn all those books anyway, and whatever you are write like the books he spoke about before. But the things we write here and now, it's quite possible that these things that you are writing down will become like a poisonous toffee for you in the future.
ඔව් ඒක ඔය දෙන්නම් කවුරුහරි නියන්නේ මැරිනවා. සන්දීන් මාත්‍යට හරියට කියන්නේ මම මැරෙනවා.
Oh.
පොත් ලියන.
Oh.
මැරුණාන් පස්සේ දැන් ආම්රංගේ පොත් හරි වටිනවා කියත් විනීතේ ගෝලේ ධම්මරක්කිතේ ගෝලේ කියනෝද.
So now I think what Lokam is talking, because there is a project, let's say there is a project, somebody is trying to collect stories and data about Lokohamdu's life. So when Lokohamdu dies, a book is published with this, it's like a biography and teachings of Lokohamdu. So then Vinita students and the Marathkita Hamdu students, they start reading that book and it becomes something like their Bible.
ඔව් ඒ වගේ කියලාගෙන අපරාධේ අවුලක් ඇති කරගන්නවාද.
And what happens with that is just kind of wasteful and unfortunate confusion about things starts happening.
දැන් ඒ දෙන ලියන එක නතර වුණා. කවුද ඒ දෙන ලියලියයිට ඒ දෙන්න නතර වුණා මේ කියන්නේ. කවුද මොනෝබන්.
So Lokam says, but when I said these people that had the project, ongoing project about Lokohamdu's is the life and teachings of Venerable Pemasari, if we call it the book like that, because of what Lokam said, now they will give up that, so which is also kind of. So anyway, so we have this, the topic was the wise attention. So this wise attention is something that is interconnected and if you like bound with the right view. And Lokam says that the right thought, that's the second factor of the Noble Eightfold Path, does not just arise alone on its own. No, it arises based on the right view. That's what Lokam says. It's not something that just really arises alone like that.
දැන් ඔය අරමුණ මෙනෙහි කරන්නෙම මෙත්තා කරුණා දෙක මුල් වෙලා මෙනෙහි.
So this noting of the objects really happens based on loving kindness and compassion.
ඔය ඒක නැතුව අරමුණු මෙනෙහි වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Without that, the noting of the object does not really happen.
ඒක අපිට පේන්නේ නැහැ, තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක අපේ මේ අරමුණු වල බැඳිලා තියෙන එක.
But we don't see and understand this, and that is because we are actually ourselves bound with the objects.
ඔව්. දැන් ඔක කවුරු හරි හිතවුවොත් මේ ආනේ පිටලා තියෙන දාඩි කොහොමද කියලා මට
මොකද
පිටලා
ඔව් මොකද
මේ සම්මා සංකප්පේ
සම්මා සංකප්ප පිටලා
තියෙන එම් මෙනේ කරනකොට කොහමද තියෙන්නේ කියලා ඒක කියා දෙන්න බෑ. ඒක යාගේ හිතේ හැදෙන එක.
So I think now Lokhan was saying, now like tomorrow somebody might ask, so how do we establish, do we get the establishment of the right thought? So that's the way I understood it. So Lokhan says, I can't just explain this, because like if you practice accordingly it will happen, but I cannot just like explain it in a way that you will suddenly get established right thought.
ඊළඟට මේ සම්මා සංකප්පය ඒක ගෙතිලා කිව්වනේ තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් දැන් මේ සම්මා වාචා ඒ වගේ ගෙතිලා නැහැ. සම්මා වාචා ගෙතිලා නැහැ.
So like with the right thought there is no friction, same thing for the right speech.
සම්මා සංකප්පයත් එක්ක ගෙතිලා තියෙන මිනිහ සම්මා වායාම.
Getila?
ඔය ගැතිලා නේ ගෙතිලා නේ මොකක්ද අපි කියන්නේ ඔව් ගොතර මේ සුවි
හරි. So I don't know, so it's I think
සම්බන්ධයලා කියන්නේ
Lokhan was trying to say is these things, they are not like happening alone. So like for the right thought you need it right view. So the next factor is the right speech. So for the right speech you need also the other two, or like the other factors.
මධ්‍යම නිකායේ තියෙන මොකද්ද ගොතන සූත්‍ර ගත මතක
මට අර චත්තාරිසක කතාව විතර තියෙනවා. මහා චත්තාරිසක තියෙනවා සම්මා දිට්ඨි, සම්මා සති, සම්මා වායාම නිතරම
තියෙනවා.
ඒ තුනම අනිත් වැඩ කරනවා.
ඔව් සම්මා වායාමේ දැන් මේකේ තියෙන්නේ සම්මා වායාමයත් එක්ක ගෙතේ සම්මා සමාධිය, සම්මා සතිය, සම්මා සමාධිය
නෑ අර හතම තියෙනවා සම්මා දිට්ඨියයි, සම්මා සති, සම්මා වායාම.
ඔව් ඒක
අනිත් So now anyway, Lokhan said he was trying to remember the sutta which talks about like being bound or sewn together, but we could not remember. So I told him I remember just this great 40 sutta which says that the Buddha talks about right view, right sati, and right effort, always like working together for the other factors also. So like with the right speech you have to know what is the right speech and wrong speech, which is the view, and together with that you must be aware, which is the mindfulness, and you have effort to keep the wholesome part and like remove the unwholesome part, which is the effort, something like that. So like this way it's with all the other factors, they get like accompanied by these three things.
මට පස්සේ සම්මා සංකප්පය ඇති වුණා නිකන් ඉන්නකොට දවසක්.
So anyway, later on Lokhan says I just got sudden kind of
මම අවුරුදු ගානක්
arising of the right thought.
අවුරුදු ගානක් මේ භාවනාව රතිපත්තන් වගේන පොත් අල්ලීලා. ඉතින් මට මේ ආඳු දෙන්න තමයි ඒ උදව් කරලා පොත් හදලා. අන්න දැන් ඕක මුද්‍රණයට දුන්නා. මුද්‍රණය දුන්නේ මේ කාර්ය නැති අන්ද අපේ අතන පාලමාත් ඇතුළේ බැංකුවේ ඉන්න ගාන. බැංකුවේ ඒ බැංකුවට බෝම්බ ගැහුවම ඔක්කොම පිච්චිලා ගියා. පොතත් පිච්ච මම ඒක දැන් සාදුකාර දෙනවා. ඒක ලියලා දුන්නා මම අන්තිම මොඩයි. ඒවා ඉතින් මේගොල්ලෝ බලලා භාවනාව ගැන කියන්න පටන් ගන්නවා කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. කොහොමද ඒ පොත පිච්චිච්ච එකට හරි සතුටුයි.
හරි. So now this is a story from kind of past. So Lokam was asked, because he was like a kind of renowned teacher of Satipatthana and Mahasi method. So he was asked by some people to write like books, putting all these things into one book. So he wrote a book, and the people that were organizing that, they did not have enough money to print it. So they said we will put it in a bank, in a like safe. So it was not in the treasure, it was just with the puzzle. Okay, sorry, correct. So one of these people was working in a bank, and he did not bring it to the bank to put it in a treasure, but he just had the book on him. No, this is what I'm talking about. So anyway, so he just, because he was working in bank, so he was working in a bank, and he had it in his like briefcase or something. But those days there were the Tamil Tigers, and somehow that day they bombed the bank. So as a result, the book was blasted and burnt. Lokam says why he started talking about this is because, why he said that he suddenly has the like right thought is so because he's now very actually happy that the book burned, because then the situation that he described before, how these books written by these people are causing trouble to meditators, he's trying to say that book also would have caused unnecessary trouble.
ලොකු බලයක් පොතේ තියෙන සතිපට්ඨාන කියන බේරෙන් තියුණානේ පොතේ. බලයක් තියෙනවා නම් සතිපට්ඨාන පොච්චක මන් ලියලා. ඔව්. පිටින්නේ මොකද බේරෙන්න තියුණානේ.
So I think Lokam's trying to make jokes, so I'm not sure. So sorry if I now destroyed the jokes a little bit, but the story is now Satipatthana is supposed to be something extremely good. So I think what Lokam says, no matter how much Satipatthana was written in the book, it did not protect the book from the bomb blast.
Oh, Satipatthana is Satipatthana කියලා තමයි ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ තියෙන පරිවර්තන පොත්වල පරිවර්තන සතිපට්ඨාන ටික ලියන්නේ මොකද්ද? නෑ මේක සතිපට්ඨාන මේ සතිය පිටන ආකාරය යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරය ඒව හැදෙන නැත්නම් ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා.
කොහෙද?
ඒ පොතේ.
So anyway, so things that are now written about mindfulness or satya, some of them are correct, some not, and anyway that book had a lot of good proper information, but anyway.
අවබෝධය කියන්නේ මේ තේරෙන්නේ අරමකම් ගොඩක් ඉතින් මේ අවුරුදු ගානක් දිවෙන්නේ.
So because it was like a book that Lokam took quite a number of years of putting together, so that there were like factual things together with the practical and experience things put together.
ඉතින් ඒක මේ ෆොටෝස් සෙට් කරලා අරගෙන තිබෙත් නෑ. එහෙම දෙයක්ම දුන්නා. ඉතින් පිච්චිලා ගියා. මේ මාත්‍යාවත් ටිකක් තුවාල වුණා.
So the guy that had the book got injured a little bit, but he survived. So that's the end of the story anyway. So anyway, Lokam's very happy. Happily kind of satisfies happiness because the book burned.
So
because now, because it's burnt, nobody can read it and possibly develop mental problems. Because even with the correct book, you can go in a wrong way. So no, I think Lokam's one of the point was, now this is the way he is the true thing maybe, but it's the way he understands them.
Oh, we need
But
to-
so if Vinita tries to make himself understand the things in the same way, that is where it can go wrong.
මේ කැමරාව තියෙනවා.
So let's say there is this smartphone here that is recording. So Eloquam actually calls it camera. So you already see the difference.
මට පේනවා ඒක හරි ලස්සන හොඳ කැමරාවක් කියලා.
Oh, ne mom kiwa camera නෙවෙයි තමයි.
හ්ම්.
So Eloquam says, oh, in his eye, it is a beautiful camera.
විනීතත් තේරෙයි වටිනාකම.
So, and Vinita understands it as something valuable and not camera.
දම්මලක් තේරෙයි පවතින කාලේ.
So then, so this is just an example. So in the case of Venerable Dhammakita, he might understand how long this thing can be used.
ඔව් ඒ වගේ මේ අපි බලන අරමුණු වල මට
So
තේරෙන්නේ
with the same object, different people get different like understandings arising. So
රූපේ තේරෙන විදියට නෙමෙයි විනීතත් තේරෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒ දේම තේරෙන්නේ.
even though the form, it's one same form that is being taken as object by Lokohamudro and me, the way we understand and experience the form is different.
ඔව් වේදනාවෙත් එහෙමයි.
The same thing for feelings or
ඔව්
experiencing.
මේක තියාගන්න අමාරුයි ටිකක්.
This is quite difficult to explain.
ඉතින් අපිට මොනවක්වත් ඕනේ නැහැ.
මොනවාකට කියන පොත්ද?
ඔව් පොත්තුත් ඕනේ මේ කියන්නේ.
So these like recorded talks or books and these things comes as we actually don't need for the practice.
ඔව් වේදනාමේති පජාන.
So the Buddha says in the Satipatthana Sutta and similar places, the whatever is experienced that should be like clearly known.
කායේ කායානුපස්සී.
So the body as body,
වේදනානුපස්සී.
Vedanas as Vedanas,
චිත්තේ චිත්තානුපස්සී.
mind as mind.
ධම්මේ ධම්මානුපස්සී.
Now,
සත්‍ය සුපස්සී.
phenomena as phenomena. Anyway, that should be enough. May you be well and happy and protected by the Retrogen, and thanks for listening.
හරි